Now, see, that's why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
This headline, I almost don't want to read the article because the headline is so great.
It pretty much sums it up.
Americans caught smuggling 375 pounds of fruit roll-ups into Israel. TikTok is blamed. There's so many things wrong with this, like smuggling fruit roll-ups. Why is that even a thing?
Don't they have them in Israel?
Well, they do now. Well, 375 pounds of them, apparently. Israel officials found a strangely sweet surprise in an American tourist suitcase this week. Security at the Ben Gurion International Airport in Tel Aviv unzipped an American couple's suitcase that were bursting with 375 pounds of fruit roll-ups. A video shared by Mako, an Israel news outlet, shows. How is that possibly illegal? It wasn't the first time Americans have been caught sneaking cavity-inducing amounts of fruit roll-ups into Israel this week. It wasn't the first time this week.
It's probably just like a conspiracy, and some of them have gotten through.
In fact, it wasn't even the first time in the same week. The Times of Israel reported about 661 pounds of fruit roll-ups were confiscated. Why? Within 1 week at the airport, according to the outlet. Times of Israel reporter Amy Spiro shared the video of security uncovering heaps of fruit roll-ups in traveler suitcases on Twitter. But why is it? Please explain to me why. A total of 661 pounds of fruit roll-ups have been seized by the airport authorities in the past week, Times of Israel reported. According to the Israeli Customs and Import Guidelines, visitors can bring up to 15 kilograms of food products in a shipment, but no more than 5 kilograms of a specific product. Because... Nope, not going to tell us why. Additionally, visitors may only bring in items that total less than $200 to Israel. So what's causing the fruit roll-up craze? Israeli authorities blame TikTok. Who hasn't heard about this candy? And is it really a candy, I guess? Yeah. Who hasn't heard about this candy and seen viral videos of him wrapping ice cream, burning and flooding the... Who's him? There's no him. Okay, who hasn't heard about this candy and seen viral videos of him wrapping ice cream, burning and flooding the social networks? The Israeli Minister... The Israeli Ministry of Health wrote on its Facebook page on May 3rd, referencing TikTok's latest fruit roll-up viral snack hack that has millions in a chokehold. But they're saying him. Who's him? Droves of TikTok creators shared videos of them trying out the latest snack innovation, ice cream inside a fruit roll-up in a type of dumpling shape, according to testers. That actually does kind of sound yummy.
It does sound yummy.
According to testers, the cold ice cream hardens the fruit roll-up, making for a delicious treat.
I've always loved those things.
Yeah, I like fruit roll-ups. We can make those, you know. Videos of the hack have gotten 2, 5, 10, and 14 million views on dozens of accounts and has surged in popularity in Israel, proving that TikTok is garbage. Tooth decay speedrun, one person joked on a viral video. They aren't actively wrong, though, and that's one of the Israel Ministries of Health concerns. It shares the risk of eating high-sugar snacks like this one on Facebook in the hopes of warding off more Israelis from indulging too much on it, because I'm sure that's a top problem in Israel. Remember, just because it is photographed well, raises buzz, and chatted online doesn't mean it's healthy for you and your children, the Israeli Ministry of Health said on Facebook. I'm sure people are just like, really? The high sugar hasn't deterred Israelis yet, and one mother even told Mako that the treat was so scarce in the country that she realized it is sold like in drug deals. The popularity of the fruit roll-up hack has also caused the prices to skyrocket, according to the Israel Ministry of Health. You know, you can make these yourself in a dehydrator. So the link actually takes you to their warning. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I'm dying. My children were addicted, another Israeli told Mako. We went to the grocery store to buy, and they wanted to sell us 10 units for 35 Israeli shekel. It's crazy. For reference, 10 Israeli shekel is equivalent to about $10 US. So that's a buck a roll-up. A box of 10 fruit roll-ups costs $2.99 online at Target in the U.S. The Israeli government is encouraging citizens to save their money on inflated fruit roll-ups and try a healthier cucumber option instead. They never have good suggestions. I'm like, hey, why don't you get whatever fruit you can get, smush it, roll it out, stick it in a dehydrator, make your own fruit roll-ups, no sugar, good for you. And they're like,
well, no added sugar.
Try to give your child cucumbers. They won't know the difference. Really? Really? Really?
No, that used to be a regular thing in my lunches growing up, which is how it turned out this way.
Well, when I was a kid, they were actually made out of fruit. What are they made out of now?
Well, they're still made out of fruit, but they over-sweeten them with extra sweeteners.
High fructose corn syrup, probably.
High fructose corn syrup?
Yeah, so the Israeli mother with a dehydrator could be making a fortune right now.
It's true. Moving on. A 23-year-old...
Oh my God, this headline's hilarious, too.
This one's...
We could just read the headlines.
Yeah.
Not even read the story.
We gotta pad out the hour, though.
Yeah.
We have a sketch we're working on that will be broadcasting next week.
Yes, and animated as well.
A 23-year-old Pennsylvania woman allegedly faked her own abduction earlier this week in a far-fetched effort to hide the fact that she dropped out of college and wasn't about to graduate. Pennsylvania State Police said. Oh, really? Chloe Stein, 23, was arrested Tuesday evening and has been charged with 4 misdemeanors: false alarm to a public safety agency, falsely reporting an offense that did not occur, obstructing administration of law, and, of course, disorderly conduct.
What about
malicious mischief?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like that one.
That's still my favorite.
How was it disorderly conduct? She wasn't even in public.
I don't know. Well, okay. Stein was last heard from Monday evening at 10:30 p.m. when she texted her boyfriend while driving home from work saying she was being pulled over by a police officer, state police said in a Monday evening news conference. Her boyfriend tried to contact her again numerous times, but to no avail. State police later heard from her family, who said they found her vehicle, a Volkswagen Beetle, abandoned on Rodabaugh Road in the area of North Greengate Road. It was at that time the family made a missing person declaration and an expansive search for Stein was launched. State Police Trooper Steve Lamani said in a news conference Tuesday evening that the department spent tens of thousands of dollars in the search, which included flying a helicopter in the area.
Jeez, does she not think? I mean,
of course not. But the case unraveled. Modern college students. But the case unraveled when a tip came in Tuesday night that Stein was actually at a home in Jeannette, about 30 miles southeast of Pittsburgh, Lamani said. When officers arrived, they found her safe inside and she was taken in for questioning. At the state police station, Stein told officers she was pulled over and abducted by an unknown male who posed as a police officer, the criminal complaint said. She said her abductor had a firearm. She was blindfolded and taken to various locations in the area, the complaint said. How would she know if she were blindfolded? Anyway, but that's all I would have said if I were a cop.
She didn't think that far.
Yeah, blink, 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 blink. But investigators were already suspicious of her account. Before they found her, they had received a call from Penn State University officials which said Stein was not a currently enrolled student, contrary to news reports that described her as a senior. During the course of the phone call, we found out that she had not been attending college for quite some time, almost at the point where it's over a year, maybe 2, and graduation was right around the corner, Lamani said. That really led us in the direction that at any point in time there was no police interaction, there was no pullover. None of that happened. A representative from Penn State said Stein was last enrolled in the fall of 2018. It's at Penn State Fayette. It's almost 5 years. Police said they found inconsistencies with Stein's account and evidence obtained in the investigation. When Stein was confronted about them, she admitted that she had fabricated all of the information pertaining to the incident, the criminal complaint said. Lamani said that she appeared to launch the hoax because she wasn't actually attending college. The fact of not going to school...
Pretty elaborate for... Mom, Dad, I'm dumb. I'm dropping out of school. I'm sorry you wasted all your money.
Yeah, she owes some people some cash. The fact of not going to school apparently for so long and maybe disappointing people was the reasoning behind it, he said. He said that at no point was she in danger during the search, and she knew the way she set up her last text message would cause alarm. Lamani condemned her actions, particularly for the fear it instilled in the community who thought there was an abductor at large. He said police are investigating whether other people were involved in her alleged hoax and said the home she was found in belonged to an acquaintance. NBC News has reached out for an attorney for Stein for comment. Stein will appear before Magisterial District Judge Joseph R. DeMarchis in Westmoreland County on May 25th for a preliminary hearing. I don't think that boyfriend is still with her.
I wouldn't blame him for bailing while he had the chance. Can we just talk about the entitled elephant in the room here?
Sure.
That we have a generation of kids that are so narcissistic and entitled, so self-important that they're willing to knowingly cause entire police forces, helicopters, the whole bit, over something as silly as dropping out of college. I mean, that's just crazy. Penn State, I mean, she's freaking loaded if she goes to that school. Just, we failed. We failed our entire generation. It's all over. It's done. I'm looking at King Charles and Queen Camilla, and it literally looks like Joe and Jill. If you put them side by side, I could not tell you which was which. Except Charles does have the slight hint of intelligence in his eyes at times. But other than that, they look like the exact same people.
They are. It's a big, what do you call it, deep fake?
Been calling him King Brandon for a while. All right. I'm just going to read the headline. Okay. Mom sends son, 3 years old, to school with Pringles. Then unenrolled him after being snack shamed. They snack shamed my 3-year-old son. They snack shamed me, the mom said in a clip that has gone viral on, guess where?
TikTok!
A mom on TikTok has gone viral after sharing a recent snack shaming incident that allegedly occurred at her child's preschool. Just quit your job and take care of your damn kid, lady. He'll be better off for it. In a video shared to the popular video platform Megan PV, a mom of 2 said she was indignant after her son's school sent home a note telling her to send in healthier snacks for him. Take care of your child and feed him better foods, not polyunsaturated, unpronounceable garbage? How dare they? I sent my son to school with Pringles, Megan began, which is a very age-appropriate snack for a 3-year-old. No, it's not. It's garbage. And
At
this
least
is what his
real
school...
potato chips, would you?
Yeah, Pringles isn't even made out of potatoes. Do people not know this? I sent my son to school with Pringles. Okay, and this is what the school sent me. She continued showing a photo of an empty Pringles container with a message written on it. Please help us make healthy choices at school. I'm not seeing a problem here. I'm literally not seeing a problem here.
Well, I can kind of see one, but anyway.
I'm just not. Exasperated, Megan continued. They snack shamed my 3-year-old. You know what's really sad, though? Is she would probably be okay if they tried to transition him. They snack shamed my 3-year-old. They snack shamed me by writing that passive aggressively on his trash. On his trash. At our house, we do not label things as healthy and unhealthy because that starts eating disorders. No, honey. No. Just no. You do not get an eating disorder by discerning the difference between garbage, non-food, and actual healthy food. That is not how eating disorders start. You are insane, and you should be relieved of your child before you transition the poor little guy. What would you do? Do you think that's ridiculous? Because I effing do. Oh, and she's a class act on top of that. She asked before ending the video. In 2 subsequent updates, Megan alleged that the saga continued after she confronted her son's school about the snack shaming and ultimately wasn't happy with how things transpired. I dropped my son off at school today and initiated the conversation, she said in a follow-up video. I just shared how I was disappointed with how it was handled. She went on to say she wished they'd reached out to her directly and that writing a note on the empty Pringles container felt passive-aggressive. Says the broad swearing on TikTok. Meghan also alleged that the school said...
Not to be confused with Meghan Markle, by the way.
Well, dumb broad, just come see, come saw. Meghan also alleged that the school said she was the one actually being passive-aggressive since she sent Pringles after they sent a letter home to all parents encouraging them to send healthy snacks. Okay, we're talking about a dummy who thinks that eating disorders are caused by labeling foods as healthy and unhealthy. Is that the most moronic thing you've ever heard? I mean,
Yeah.
I could go on an entire ginger rant on that.
I've had more than a few cans of Pringles, and they're all right, but I don't understand. But at the same time, I don't know what the big deal is about them. They're not healthy. They're not as tasty as potato chips.
You can't even pronounce half of the ingredients, and her son is 3.
I know.
I didn't consider Pringles to be this unhealthy snack, she said. I considered Cheetos, Doritos, Milky Way bars, and things like that to be unhealthy snacks. These are Cheetos, Doritos, and Milky Way bars. They're literally the same damn thing. Cheetos actually has real cheese in them. They actually have a food ingredient in them. Pringles does not. Meghan added, I would pack Pringles with granola bars, yogurt, fruit, all that kind of stuff, so I didn't really think the letter was applicable to me. Regardless, she said, do I think it was appropriate to write it on my son's empty packet of Pringles? No. That's what she's butthurt about. That's what she's upset about, that they wrote the note on the can. Meghan claimed that there was no apology. Why would there be? From the school, and she ultimately decided to withdraw her child. Good. My son's been at the school for quite some time. He's 3 years old. He shouldn't be in a school at all. He should be at home being raised by his mommy, you selfish twat who should not have bred.
Bread.
Bread. And we had him registered for their summer program for 3 days a week, she said, adding that the school told her we no longer have a part-time spot for your son this summer. As a result, she immediately pulled her son from the school. It was just so uncalled for and disrespectful and unsettling, Meghan added. Well, it sounds to me like you're teaching your child right by going on TikTok and using the F word to discuss something that happened at a preschool where your 3-year-old baby shouldn't be. You should be at home raising him because that's what mommies are for, you selfish twat. Next.
Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love.
Hey, you know what?
What?
I love her. I disagree with her, and I love her. Raise your child, you selfish twat.
Okay. Speaking of idiocy and schools, here we go. This is really cool. Each of the 800-plus Philadelphia families who applied for seats at a nationally recognized charter school thought their children had a fair shot at a spot in this year's upcoming freshman class. Pennsylvania law guarantees it. But some had no chance at all. A top executive at Franklintown Charter High School said this year's lottery was fixed, with students from certain zip codes shut out and others eliminated because they or their older siblings exhibited academic or behavioral problems. Some children were also excluded because Franklintown's chief executive didn't want to take anyone from a particular charter elementary school in the event he might have to pay for their transportation. Patrick Field.
I'm actually kind of okay with all of this so far.
Well,
so
we'll see.
It depends on who's in the zip code. Now, if we're talking, if it's a racial thing, and I'm not okay with it. But all the other stuff is like, yeah, so.
Yeah. Patrick Field, Franklintown's chief academic officer and an administrator at the school for 17 years, said the lottery tampering was ordered by Joseph Venditti. Hey, let's go, Venditti.
It does
Send
sound like,
Venditti to get these guys.
It does sound like him, you guys.
The longtime former CEO. Venditti.
Wait, was he longtime former, or was he a longtime CEO that's now former? I'm totally confused.
Okay, I interrupted it in the middle.
That's badly written.
Okay.
No, the
so
longtime
lottery
former
tampering
CEO.
Was
so he's been a CEO. He was a CEO.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Longtime former CEO. Short-time current CEO, long-time former. I mean, that is really poorly written.
Venditti abruptly resigned February 27th, citing health reasons, after Field alerted the charter's board chair about the lottery issues. Venditti did not respond to repeated requests for comment. Franklintown said in a statement that it had commissioned an investigation into the allegations, which it called a serious matter. In the meantime, Franklintown is reviewing outside lottery vendors for solutions that will eliminate any possibility of undue influence in the student enrollment process, said spokesperson Ken Kilpatrick. Peng Chan, chief of the Philadelphia School District's
Peng
charter
Chow.
schools...
Don't put an an and an ow. Bang ding
What?
ow. You said Peng Chan.
Oh,
It's Peng Chow.
sorry.
Holy crap.
I can't do it now. I
Ding,
don't have my glasses immediately nearby.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Just hit Control Plus.
Later. Peng Chow, chief of the Philadelphia School District's Charter Schools Office, which oversees all Philadelphia charters, said he was aware of the allegations. We absolutely are looking into them, Chow said. We take them very, very seriously. The Inquirer, the Philadelphia newspaper, not the newsstand
Not the national.
rag.
It's just the Philadelphia Inquirer, not the national one.
The Inquirer reviewed a summary, I quit, of the January lottery results showing that 205 students out of 813 who applied were offered seats. The accepted students came from 22 zip codes. In 17 other city zip codes, none of the students who applied got in. It is astronomically unlikely, with odds of 1 in 1,296 trillion, that no students would be selected from those zip codes if Franklintown conducted a random lottery as is required, the Inquirer analysis found. Field, who is still employed by
Well, that
Franklin...
doesn't mean anything. I mean, because we had those same odds with the last election, and they still said it was debunked.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually tired of talking about that. It doesn't
Me
change a
too.
damn thing.
Nope.
Field, who is still employed by Franklintown, said he chose to alert authorities and come forward to the Inquirer because children are being cheated and because taxpayers are footing the bill. I've got my voice a little angry right there because if taxpayers are footing it, it needs to be fair.
Sounds
Charters
to me
are
like he's saving them money. Not
Charters
having
are
to
independently
spend
run but publicly funded. As an administrator in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I don't have a choice, Field said. As an ethical person, I'm just heartbroken that we're doing this at a school I've given so much of my life to. What did I just hear? A high school of 1,300 in Bridesburg, Franklintown boasts strong academics with a 97% graduation rate in 2021. It previously was named a National Blue Ribbon School by the U.S. Department of Education. The charter also has fielded allegations over its enrollment practices. Though it's required to admit students from across the city, Franklintown's enrollment is primarily white. A demographic mismatch in a primarily black school district. Again. A concern raised in 2018 at a school reform commission meeting. It has previously been accused of discriminating against special education students.
Okay, now I'm mad. I wasn't mad
Yeah.
before. Now I'm mad.
It's a long article.
They buried the lead. They needed to put that up front.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, everything is racist these days, so but still.
Yeah, but this actually is.
this
All the other
actually
things
is.
usually aren't. This actually is.
Yeah. So it's a long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but that's what we got.
But we got what did I just hear? So Field was proud of the school's success, which he credited to remarkable teachers and supportive families. But on January 4th, he overheard a conversation that gave him pause. According to Field, Vendetti was talking with a school secretary about the upcoming lottery, telling her the school had, quote, names we wanted, and that he would connect her with a member of the IT staff. I thought, what
did I just hear?
Field felt uncomfortable, so a couple of days later initiated a conversation with the secretary. I was told that Vendetti was tired of having bad families automatically get into the school.
Bad families. How do you define bad families there?
I don't know, pregnant and beating up Spirit Airline
Vendetti?
employees. I'm just fielding a guess here. The
So to
secretary
speak.
mentioned Vendetti wanted to cut out students from Christopher Columbus Charter School in South Philadelphia because their special education students had come with a mandate that Franklintown had to pay for their school bus transportation. So he was trying to save money, okay. He's going to have... Okay, but here's the thing. It's not his money. It's our money.
Well, Philadelphians' money anyway.
Well, ours and taxpayers. He's going to have our IT person pre-run the lottery so that none of the students that he doesn't want will get in on the day of, Field said the secretary told him, and she went along with it. Does nobody... I mean, I have literally lost my job because I've had a boss come up and ask me to do something unethical, and I look him in the eyes and say, no, I'm not going to do that. That's unethical. And I've been fired for it. And you know what? I'm glad. Why does nobody
At
stand up
least
for...
once with
Why
a
does
former church we went to.
nobody stand up for these things? No, this happened when I was an accountant for a large company, which ended up failing with the .com because they partnered with WorldCom and Enron. But when he wanted me to expense off his Las Vegas trip, his bachelor party, and he filled out an expense report and wanted me to run it through the company, I was like, no. Those are not company expenses. Those cannot be. I could be liable and go to jail for it, plus it's unethical. No, your motorcycle, I don't care if you put a decal with the name of your company on it, that is not a company expense. It does not. Your custom motorcycle does not benefit an energy company in any way. And, yeah, so I kind of got a little bit fired.
Yeah, no big loss.
No, it wasn't a big loss because it turned out, just trust me, it was a good thing. It was one of those situations where you get fired and you're like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I wasn't going to quit because then I wouldn't get unemployment. But not only did I get unemployment, but the following week was that huge earthquake that we had in Seattle.
Right.
Where, like, giant things, I mean, you probably remember the Phoenix Underground, that giant Phoenix statue.
Right.
That plowed to the ground, and they were showing it in the Seattle Times.
Right.
That was my parking spot.
Cool.
I'm not even making that up.
Jesus.
That was my parking spot. And then, of course, I got my sick leave. I got my vacation pay. They cashed me out, sent me on my way, and then I also got unemployment. Everybody else came in on a Wednesday to an email saying, we're closing our doors, get out, you lose everything. So sometimes doing the ethical thing might hurt at the beginning.
Short-term hurts, long-term is benefit.
Long-term benefit.
And you're doing, and you're living in
the
a godly way
secretary
that way.
should have told him no.
Yeah, that's
She should
true.
have told him no, and if he tried to fire her, she could have sued his ass off. So on the morning of January 20th, before the lottery results were announced, Field said a secretary asked him to remove from his script any reference to automatic admission for siblings and students from Franklin Town's grade school, preferences the charter typically grants. He had a quick conversation with the IT staffer assigned to the lottery. This IT staffer is every bit as guilty. He should have said no as well, or she. I was told that he had the secret squirrel file, Field said. He said, Joe gave me a list of zip codes that I was supposed to remove. I thought this is a little bit bigger than maybe I thought it was. Field didn't know what to do.
And who did you report to?
Well, here's what you do, Field. You say no. If I had walked out of there would have been a lot of trouble for me, he said. So what? You do what's right, dude. The lottery proceeded as Vendetti had orchestrated it, but it wasn't until February 3rd that Field got a clearer picture of who had been excluded when he saw a file with the lottery results. Everything that I hoped I wouldn't find was there. Dude, you're trying to pretend that you were innocent in all of this. You weren't, okay? You knew what was happening. And, okay, I always get complicit and complacent. He was complicit. Yes. Okay. I always get those two mixed up. None of the 10 students who applied for Christopher Columbus Charter were selected. I'm surprised, said Edward Posner, Christopher Columbus CEO of the allegations. They're supposed to be a blue ribbon school that puts them at the upper echelon of charter schools. I've always had a good working relationship with them. Okay. Well, it does go on from there, but very long story short, a bunch of people did something they knew damn well was unethical, did it anyway, and now they're trying to pretend like they were innocent.
I hope they close it down. The state needs to close it down.
Well, at least fire everybody.
Fire everybody, because
it's not the teachers'
it's not the
fault.
teachers or the students'
No,
fault, the parents'
it's
fault,
certainly
anything
not the
like that.
students yeah.
So I take that back. But anyway, we are.
Well, he is the long-running former ex-CEO.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow, we're at the top of the hour.
So let's finish
We've
off.
got a little bit of wiggle room, so let's do this last story, and I will pick the wonderfuler. So you do the last story about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to tell this
who won't
one.
be getting a tip.
This is one housekeeper who
Yike.
won't be getting a tip.
Yike! Yike! And I will.
When a
pick
tourist at a Tibetan hotel noticed a foul smell in his room and asked to move, little could he have guessed he would get caught up in a murder investigation. The traveler spent half a day in the room wondering where the smell was coming from and initially suspected either the bakery downstairs or perhaps his own feet.
That's a really bad bakery if it smells like your feet.
That's some really bad feet.
Yikes.
But he was later informed it came from a dead body under the bed. The tourist, identified only as Mr. Zhang.
Okay, wait. Can we just talk about how this guy's feet smells like a dead body? Dude, don't wear shoes. Pro tip.
Wash them once in a while.
Good Lord.
At the very least, wash them once in a while. And
go barefoot. I promise you, your feet won't smell like dead people anymore. Good Lord.
Ay.
Imagine having your own feet smell so bad.
Suspecting your own feet, wow.
Is that a skunk? Oh no, it's my big toe.
The tourist, identified only as Mr. Zhang, had checked into the hotel said to be popular among internet influencers in Lhasa on April 20th, according to reports in China's state-affiliated media.
And a bakery. Bakeries smell wonderful. They don't
Bakeries
smell
are
like
the
dead
greatest
people.
smell in the world. Why would he think, doesn't
he is from China. So
I don't know.
I mean,
It was not until 2 days...
baking bats and God knows what else there.
Yeah. But it was not until 2 days later, after he had transferred rooms, that he learned the source of the smell when he was summoned back to the original room by a group of police officers. I asked them what happened, and they told me someone had died, so I asked them where. He told Shangyu News. They said under my bed.
Wait, okay, so... How does someone die under a hotel bed and nobody knows? Don't they have to check out?
Like I said...
Worst maid ever!
Like I said, that maid is not getting...
Housekeeping fired!
Fired. Fail. Okay. The police told him they had opened a murder investigation, but he was not a suspect because the body had been lying there for days before his arrival. The case has been widely reported across China, with many state-affiliated news outlets publishing video footage of the subsequent arrest of a suspect. I haven't even been drinking.
10 o'clock.
It's late. It is late. On a train bound for Lanzhou, a city around 2000.
Although you did take a 3-hour nap, so.
That was because I overcarbed. Recounting his experience to Shanghai News, Shang said he had left Tibet as soon as he helped the police with their investigation. But he said he was still reeling from the shock and had struggled to sleep ever since. I stay up until 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. Every morning, and the slightest movement would wake me up, he said. It left me in a bad mental state.
Well, yeah, if your feet stink that bad, I'd be in a mental state, too.
If your feet smelled like a bad bakery and you found a dead body under your bed... He was probably alive under the bed, and then he smelled your feet and went, Gak!
Oh my gosh, what do you bet the guy was like a robber and he was going to kill him, but then he smelled the dude's feet and died of a bad pastry. It all comes together! I think he died of eating a bad croissant and smelling your feet.
In Tibet.
In Tibet. Oh, good Lord. Okay, well, we have to wrap this baby up, so let's start steering this ship toward the iceberg. Here we go. Here on Counterculture Wise, we may rant, we may rave, but most of all, we go against the current culture because we believe, to the core of our beings, that humans are good and the world is an amazing and beautiful place. At the beginning of our show, we give you news of the weird and wonderful, but that is just the tip of the magnificent iceberg that is our world. We now present news of the wonderfuller. Christian Bowers, now 24, had many friends in high school, but after graduating 5 years ago, it's been hard to find good friends. Christian has Down syndrome, and his mom, Donna Herder, said his lack of friends was making him feel depressed. I picked this story because it hits home. We had a dear friend whose granddaughter was born this week, and she was diagnosed with Down syndrome in utero, but also holes in her heart. And
so please pray for her.
Please pray for little Chloe. Heal her heart, because Down syndrome children are blessings. They are sweet, good-natured kids that can contribute so much to society. So not so much concerned about that as I am with what's going on with the heart. And, you know, God's a great healer, and if you're going to heal something, heal somebody's heart, because boy, howdy do, a lot of us need heart healing. All right. He was just constantly asking where his friends are. Why doesn't anybody want to come over and spend some more time with him? Herder, who lives in Rochester, Minnesota, told CBS News. We would go to Walmart or the store, and he would invite half the store to come home with us. Okay, I don't even have Down syndrome, and I'm like that. Will you be my friend? Mm-hmm. And he would invite half the store to come home with us and play video games with us, and of course nobody would, and he just doesn't understand why. Herder didn't know where to turn, so she posted on Facebook. I just basically said I was looking for a young man between the ages of 20 and 28 local. She said, I told them I'd pay them $80. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, this is a broken-hearted mother. I told them I'd pay them $80 for 2 hours to basically just hang out and play video games with him. All he really wants is just a guy friend to do guy stuff with. Oh, sweetheart. Herder is a nurse working the overnight shift. She sent the post out at 4 a.m. before ending her workday, and when she woke up, it had about 5,000 comments. I was freaking out. My hands were shaking. I was sweating. I was just looking for some local guys. I didn't want to invite like the entire world to our house, she said. She was overwhelmed and thought about deleting the post, but a friend told her to look at the replies first. She saw parents offering suggestions, others volunteering to help, and some parents of children with special needs asking for advice themselves. Friendships are important to people born with Down syndrome, but leaving school and becoming an adult may make maintaining those relationships difficult. Some adults with Down syndrome may face barriers like not being able to drive or see their friends, according to the National Down Syndrome Society, known as NDSS. Having social relationships is important to everyone's mental health, including those with Down syndrome. According to a 2018 study in Australia, young adults with Down syndrome with at least 3 social relationships often showed a significantly better quality of life, according to an assessment by researchers. NDSS says it's vitally important for adults with Down syndrome to plan for how they will socialize once they leave school, and clubs, volunteering for further education are good options. There are many organizations that help people with Down syndrome find opportunities to be social and to work. This is great. Get back to the story. Did the puppy and the kitten survive the dragon? I want to know the rest of the story. Yes, I'm interrupting my own story because it's like, get to it! Herder said Christian attends events for people with special needs, but he craves a friendship with somebody who is neurotypical. Why does that sound like an insult?
Because if you say normal, it's insulting. That's a little more precise.
But it literally means the exact same thing.
Well, I know it means the same thing, but it's a question of shade.
But it literally means the exact same thing.
You want to know how the story ends.
Okay, it's just, why do we have to use... Before it was normal, now it's Bob. Okay, it's a different word, but it means the exact same thing, Bob. He doesn't want to only hang out with somebody with special needs. I kind of get that sort of ish. And I've never asked him, but I assume because it kind of makes him feel normal. Oh, we get to use the word now. Just for an hour or two. Hey, somebody who doesn't have Down syndrome wants to hang out with me, she said. I get that. After interviewing a few local guys in Wentzville, Minnesota, Donna narrowed it down to 7 who now visit Christian once a week on a rotating schedule.
That's really cool.
I wonder if she still has to pay them. James Hastings was one of the men she chose. He saw the post because a friend tagged him in it. When I first read the post, I was heartbroken that she felt she needed to pay people to be friends with Christian. Now, that really hit me in the feels.
Yeah.
Hastings said he works with people with disabilities, and it's something he has a passion for. He said he's visited Christian 3 times so far, and they usually play video games or watch a movie. Just a typical kid.
Yep.
Christian has taught me to look at the world for more than what we see on the surface, Hastings said, because through the surface we may look different. Deep down we all have similarities, and getting along should be easy. Amen. He said he hopes this story teaches others it's okay to be different. Just because someone is different than what you are used to, it doesn't mean that they aren't the same at heart. Herder's post also led to more opportunities for Christian. People around the country send him gifts. He was invited to hang out with local firefighters, was named an honorary mayor of nearby Wentzville for the day, and went bowling with local Marines, who probably ate more crayons than he ever did in his lifetime.
If there's enough of them, I'm giving a military secret, and I might get shot for it, but they eat the bowling balls. It's
I would think those were more indestructible than the magic 8-ball, but okay.
That doesn't stop us.
He every night goes to bed with a smile on his face, as opposed to all the other places you can have a smile on. I'm sorry, that's always bugged me. He tells everybody about his new friends. He gets so excited talking about life now and what he's doing, Herder said. But I still think the one thing he likes the most is that one-on-one, just that guy coming over. Herder hopes to inspire others to form friendships because you never know how much it means to someone. Everybody needs a friend, she said. I thought about it one day and I just sat there and I was like, what if I have 0 friends? What if I literally not one person to call, to talk to, to hang out, to have lunch with? And man, it just really hit me hard. Thinking about that, how lonely would that be? Well, I know firsthand what that's like. Knowing there's so many people out there that are wanting the relationship or wanting a friend, I really hope people reach out in their community and find out where those people are, how to get a hold of them, and how to hang out with them. It's a sweet story. So there's a picture of him hanging out with a couple of the guys, just beaming from ear to ear. Sweet story.
That is one happy kid.
Sweet story. Well, folks, go out and make a friend this week. Go out and talk to a stranger and make someone smile. And you can put that smile anywhere you want, on their butt, on their shoulder, on their face. Apparently, you can put smiles anywhere you want. I think you should
put a smile on your left armpit.
There you go. And you have to lift your arm. And you know what? We'll go right back to the beginning of our show. If you're a good flapper, everybody will see you smile. Have an amazing week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tuning in. We're going to be turning in.
Turning out raw.
We're turning in now. Have an amazing week, and we will see you next week. Make sure you check our YouTube and Bitchute and Locals. We are on Locals now for the animated version of Chuck and a few other special surprises coming up. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Counterculture-Wise is a Stormcat production.
Thank you for joining our growing family of listeners. All links from the show are available on our website, counterculturewise.com. Find our archives on any of your favorite podcast hosts.
We engage in satire, commentary, and generally laugh at the ridiculousness of our crumbling society. Our only medical or financial advice is to not follow any financial or medical advice given by podcasters.
Our animations, interviews, Holy Crap segment, and other videos are put out on Bitchute and Rumble, and only in part on YouTube because they hate free speech.
Our show is entirely funded by listeners like you. Visit our ever-expanding merch store or our Subscribe Star, where you can get outtakes, extra videos, and sneak peeks.
If you would like to be a guest on our program, feel free to contact us via our website. Just click on the link at the top that says, Be a Guest on Our Show.
For more fun and cat pics, please visit our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. For complaints about our show, please fill out the ID10T form on our website, and we will give it the attention it deserves.
Meanwhile, no matter how cruel the world may be around you, always remember the importance of kindness. Be kind to each other, be kind to animals, and be kind to yourself. See you next week.